A component of winning, Annie, is having a really strong locker room and culture. And I think all of our players, if you guys would speak with them, would share that, same sentiment is that they're really excited and happy to play basketball here.
I plan on, playing in Unrivaled, joining Unrivaled.
Obviously, things may not have manifested on the court the way we wanted to, but truly, there's some of the best people I've been around. And I was telling them in the locker room after the game yesterday that this is probably my second favorite team I've ever played on. And the first one was my rookie year, so things were very new. But yeah, just it's because of the people and the experiences that we had together. And it's one of the teams I'll remember forever because of the people that they are.
Going to the All-Star break, so I think I came back with a different mentality. And it means a lot to me to be able to play how I was playing. I know there's much more space to grow, but I'm proud of myself for everything I did this year.
I'm not sure about the deadline. They might have to push it back a little, which I think has happened before, if I'm not mistaken, in the last negotiation, because it's a little tight sometimes.
Would you be interested in returning to the Sky?
I mean, I think that's just a question that is hard to answer at this point, purely because you need a moment to breathe and regroup after such a big season, So great question. I can't answer it right now. But
Yeah, it's been fun. This season has obviously been hard, but I've had a blast. I mean, like you said, I've gotten to play so much more, and that's what any player wants. I want to be able to get the opportunities to play on the court and do my thing and kind of be loose a little bit. And I feel like Tyler gave me that opportunity a lot to just be me. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that showed too in kind of the moments that I had.
All right, we're going to get started with Charlie Bell.
Good morning, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I wanted to ask you something just more off the top about last night. We saw you and some of your teammates just kind of have a lot of emotions at the end of the game. What was the reason behind just kind of having a lot of those emotions? Was it just kind of an end of season response? What kind of led to a lot of the emotions that we saw last night after the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an end of season response. I'm so proud of how players like Maddie did in their final game as well. She was incredible. But I think it was just there's been a lot in this season, and we've stuck together and we've done everything together. And I just think that you could even see the care and the respect we had for each other. And that moment at the end of the game is actually quite rare. I haven't always had that in every team at the end of the season when it's a game like that, a final game. That the season is done. But yeah, it shows the collective togetherness of the group for sure.
And then just one quick follow-up. What are your off-season plans?
Well, I'm going back to Melbourne for a little bit of time, and I'm just going to spend a month in Turkey. I'm going to play there for a little bit and then regroup.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alyssa?
Hey, Beck, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you.
Would you be interested in returning to the Sky?
I mean, I think that's just a question that is hard to answer at this point, purely because you need a moment to breathe and regroup after such a big season, So great question. I can't answer it right now, but it's just a nice moment that, hey, this season literally finished last night and everyone needs a moment to breathe, pause.
Yes. Well, okay, maybe you can answer this one. What aspect of your game do you feel like the coaching staff helped you develop the most?
I'm going to go sort of sideways on this. I think the belief that they had in every player, myself included, it allowed you to go out every day and sort of feel that and exude that. And I think especially in moments, because seasons are always up and down, and sometimes you can have that self-doubt. And I really loved how Tyler and the coaching staff were always the first to say that they trust and believe in me. And so that was something that I will take away from this year.
Brian?
Hey, good morning, Beck. Wanted to ask you, when you look back at this season, what is one of the main things that you kind of will be proud of, just looking back on it as a whole?
I won't lie, there's a lot for me. This season was a gift. Last year was a super tough one physically with my injuries and the Olympics with how things went for me. So this season was a gift that I had to work so hard to get back on court for, physically and mentally. And so for me to be around a group of humans that showed so much respect, kindness, and care. This is a season that I will never forget, and it was a really, really important one for me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Quita?
Hey, Beck, thanks for taking the time. The CBA has been on the minds of a lot of players all season. Can you just talk about your involvement in the CBA negotiations, and what are your desires as an international player for the WNBA CBA?
Yeah, I mean, this new CBA is going to be such a launching platform for the league in general. I'm so excited to see where it's going. There is no way that it can come to a lockout. It won't be good for the league. It won't be good for players. I just see it building towards what is deserved, also what the product is. So I'm excited to see. Obviously, player payments is a big thing that everyone's caring about. Everything to do with maternity things, all those sort of things in terms of retirement stuff as well. I think that are really important that you look in just towards supporting your players. So yeah, I mean, this next month is going to be huge, and we'll all be watching very closely.
Christian?
Hi, Beck. Christian One-Sider. Thanks again for being here. You talked about the self-doubt in the season. What do you really think caused that self-doubt? And as a vet, you've been able to show a lot of things over your career. What aspect of your game do you think you weren't able to display during the season that you just want to talk about?
I mean, I don't know about that question. I would go this. The self-doubt would probably come from also just the wins and loss column. It's hard when you do lose so many games. I think that's always tough for any individual and team, especially when you're putting in so much work behind the scenes. And in terms of that side, no, we didn't come out successfully if you're looking at it that way, but I think things are building, and I hope that the Chicago fan base has belief and follows and trust within the organization too, in the direction they're headed and what they're building towards.
Andrew?
Thanks, Tristan, and appreciate it, Becca, for you always being a class act. And
I appreciate you. Thank you.
And just in general, with the great Opal's rise in terms of the league continuing, that great tradition in interviewing Sandy on a daily here, but also the CJ Melbourne, obviously Ezzy, Sam Wickham, and many others, at least in the league. Just talk about that continued Australian influence, and if you just plan to take a break in this off season, or if you're going to be playing down in the WNBL.
I do love even what you're saying there, all the Aussies that come into the league. I think that we all have a little impact just in the way that we bring, our personalities, our culture, our team first attitude always into every team that we go in and join. And what I do love is there's always a representation of us as well. And I can see that coming for years. And you've got the likes of Jade Melbourne, who's so young, and all the others coming through that are going to be in this league for quite some time, and Ezzy for sure. So I have really loved that. And whether it's, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next in the sense of playing for what team and all of that. But you sort of try to bring all your experiences and also want to bring the confidence for those that are wanting to come over to America and wanting to, head towards this goal, because playing in this league is a dream. And for myself to have done it for 10 years is something that I didn't ever anticipate when I signed my first year in New York. So, a lot of this is a gift, and I really want to be that person that tries to encourage those back home to come over here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll close out with Carly Bell.
Beck, what are some things that you saw Coach Marsh do very well in his first season? And what's one point of his coaching style that you think would need improvement moving forward?
I think that the way that he is always very, very level. He's not a coach that gets too high, too low. The way he speaks to us in the locker room, he leads with kindness and respect for each player. You don't always get that. So I really loved how he never wavered from it, no matter how hard the season got. He's also probably one of the best coaches that I've ever been around with in terms of after timeout plays. The way that he draws up plays to get people the shots in the pockets that they really like, where they're the most comfortable playing to those sort of strengths. He's one of the best coaches in that sense. And I think in terms of that growth part, a first year head coach is always tough. You're finding your way, and I think he really stuck to who he is, and that's why I'm really excited to see what he's going to do next, because there's going to be that many players that will want to play for a coach like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one quick question. What are your off-season plans?
I think the number one off-season plan is to get healthy, and take care of my body. And then after that, I plan on, playing in Unrivaled, joining Unrivaled. But yeah, that's all to be determined.
Sounds good. And then my question here, your first rookie season, or your first season, excuse me, here in the WNBA, obviously had to deal with some injuries, but what are some things that you would take away as positives from this season? And what's one thing outside of health that you really want to work on heading into next year?
I think that a couple things that I took away had to do with just being able to navigate hard things. And I have a certain level of confidence in myself to do that. I had that before this year, but I think I reaffirmed that for myself this year is, I'm able to handle adversity, and there's not too much that will ever, take me out. I'm always gonna put up a fight. So, that was something I was proud of that I, reaffirmed about myself this year. And, I think there's a lot of things I could say that I want to work on or I need to work on that will be worked on. The biggest thing for me, I think, outside of getting healthy is, figuring out what state my body needs to be in to play at the level I need to play at to be successful in the WNBA. So whether that is, gaining muscle in certain areas, losing fat in certain areas, being in ultimate shape, that and I think if I lead with that and being and recomping my body, I think working on the skill set things and the on-court things are gonna just come a lot easier. So
Thank you.
Alyssa?
Hi, Hailey.
hi.
I just wanted to check in, like, how the last couple of weeks of season were for you, mentally, emotionally, physically, everything. Just, you haven't been able to play, and that's frustrating. And so just wanted to check in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've never really had that happen in my career where I've sat out for that many games, and it was sporadic. There were sections prior in the year where I had to sit out as well, so it was definitely unique. Definitely added to the rookie experience, but it was definitely frustrating and it was hard some days, but also, it was a way for me to see the game and the WNBA from a new perspective. And I think there's a lot that I can learn from, what these last couple weeks were like for me. I still had fun. It was still, it wasn't like it wasn't fun anymore. So there's a lot of good to be taken away from it. And I definitely can, take this experience and use it for my benefit.
Thanks, Hailey. Good luck at Unrivaled.
Thank you.
Brian?
Hey, good morning, Hailey.
Good morning.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Coach Simon and also Coach Johnson. I observed you guys having a really good rapport there. Just wanted to get your thoughts on what they meant to you during your rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, they meant everything to me. The type of player I am, and when I'm going through something or I'm struggling, like I just want to work. I want to get reps. I want to work out. I could be in the gym, every day if they would let me, and they showed up whenever I asked them to. They brought great energy. That's a huge thing for me too, is like, are you gonna match my energy in the workouts and like care about this as much as I care about it? And they always did. And alongside of that, I think we built great friendship. Like we always were joking. They made every day fun. They brought joy to my days. Me and AJ got really close because he was my position. And that's a relationship. Him and Dave are relationships that I think I will have for the rest of my career, even if we end up on different paths. I think I'll maintain those. So I'm really grateful for that. And they mean a lot to me, and I think that they will be great for the outlook of my career.
Thank you.
Naomi? Okay. Quita?
Hey, Hailey, thanks for taking the time. For this season, it's kind of a whirlwind going from college to the WNBA. Can you just sort of talk about some of your teammates that you may have leaned on throughout the season and maybe some advice that some folks shared with you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that um, everyone, the one thing that I realized is, other people were going through experiences outside of me. Like just because I'm a rookie and, being a rookie is hard doesn't mean that my other teammates weren't having new experiences for themselves and also going through things. So, I think that made it a lot easier for me to be grateful for what my situation was, regardless of how I thought it was going. But also, like I think Rachel and Ariel were huge for me, and they both have different personalities, so we kind of connected in different ways with each of them. But from a confidence standpoint, they knew my position, they understand what it's like to play my position, and being able to just like bounce frustrations, bounce ideas um, off of them. And them to tell me everything is going to be okay meant a lot. And they were great examples for me to watch, especially when I was sitting out. I tried to really keen in on them of how they were making reads, how they were moving, what they were doing. But, I think they all gave me a ton of different advice, but the overarching one was that, it is what it is, and that's okay, but no one is gonna like write your journey for you. So, they kind of gave me my power back in that sense of, you know, what my career will look like is gonna be up to me. So
Thank you.
We'll go back to Naomi.
Hey, Hailey. I have a question about something off the court that I feel like wasn't spoken about enough this season, your pregame fits. You really put that stuff on this season. And I just kind of want to know, like, what went into those outfits? And do you feel like it was just a form of your self-expression? And do you have any favorites from this season?
yeah, I mean, I like to think of myself as a fashion girly. Like I am into fashion. I'm into the curating of outfits and clothes and designing things. That's kind of a passion of mine that I'm trying to explore. And so um, I wanted to like put myself out there in that sense. And so I think I went for the vision was to be very versatile and to like show that I have all these different I wouldn't say like I'm kind of pigeonholed into like one specific style. I like to experiment and try new things, and me and my stylist that helps me, Ella, she has been great at collaborating. I'm obviously very collaborative. Like I have a lot of opinions and what I want it to look like. So being able to do that process with her has been great. So it was awesome, and it's different. Like you don't really do that in college. So that was something in the pros that I really enjoyed. But I think one of my favorites, I know off the top of my head, one of my favorites was I wore like a tan trench coat with plaid, like oversized shorts, and they had like the boxers built into them, and I wore knee-high boots. First time I've ever worn boots in my life, by the way. That was kind of funny. But that outfit was fire. I loved that one. I had a couple at the end of the year where I thought those were tea. I think, my last week I threw out some hard hitters. Those are all great outfits. So I could go down the line. If you guys get me talking, I will keep going on.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
We'll close out. Last question from Andrew.
Thanks, Tristan. As always, first belated happy birthday to you, HVL.
Thank you.
On that note, Nisisha Heidemann had similar stats towards you her rookie season, and now she's maybe or in the running for being Sixth Woman of the Year. And saw Kelsey Plum have a notable jump after her difficulties rookie year. Do you see those as templates for you to be able to say, hey, if they can definitely do that, I know the competitor that I am, that I can certainly reach those heights? And what's one or two songs that help get you through the season besides any gospel tracks, of course, but just in terms of regular songs?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, I take inspiration from those people a lot. And I think that those are two great examples. There's other, just as I play people around the league this year, I've been like realizing like, sometimes it takes a couple years, and that happens with a lot of people. And whatever my journey is going to be is what it's going to be. I'm going to fight for it to be as soon as possible. But whenever it comes, like, I have ultimate belief in my abilities. And now that I have a year under my belt, I'm even more confident. But seeing those people, and especially for Heidemann, like, I think she's had a great stretch at the end of this year where being able to watch that and understand, what her game is and how she fits in, like, that has been awesome. And obviously Kelsey, there's a big inspiration there. So for sure, I take inspiration from a lot of people in the NBA too. Like, the amount of research I have done on the arc of Jalen Brunson's career and how he got to where he has gotten is probably concerning. But it's been great. And I would say this year, I've actually, from a music standpoint, like, I kind of have gotten into more like alternative than I have before. So I've been kind of like, and I wouldn't say like intense alternative, like not hard rock, but like I really like Willow. And I'm kind of into her vibe right now. I'm a big Trippie Redd girl. So yeah, those two artists I would say probably are on my like most played for sure.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone. You will be next.
Thank you guys.
And what are your off-season plans? Do you plan on playing back in China?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, second year here in the W, and you also had another head coach this year. How would you evaluate Tyler Marsh's season as a head coach? And what are things that he has asked of you to either continue excelling in the offseason, and things that he wants to see you grow in this offseason?
Yeah, obviously the season didn't go how we expected, but being able to have a coach like Tyler, it was amazing. Through the ups and downs, he was always there for me. He was always very much loving, caring, and just showing his support. And I love the way he fought for us. We lost more games than we won, but he never gave up on us. He always showed up every day with the same energy, no matter what our record was. So he's an amazing coach, and I'm excited for the things that's ahead of us in the future. And things that we talk about improving in the offseason, just being more confident in the perimeter, such as driving, shooting the mid-range, making some threes and stuff like that, and defense.
Thank you.
Brian.
Hey, good morning, Kamilla.
Morning.
Wanted to ask you about your relationship with Coach Paris and just the impact that she had on your game this season.
Yeah, Courtney is amazing. She's a legend. It's amazing to have her here with us. And she pushed me hard. Like, we have conversations before every game. We watch film together. And she just tells me every day how great I am and how great I can be. And just to have somebody like that in my corner is amazing.
Thank you.
Zachary.
Hey, Kamilla, how you doing?
How are you?
Doing pretty good. So this year, really, you became very much a focal point of the Sky offense, and both in the paint, on the glass, very effective on defense. What did it mean for you to be able to step up and contribute the way that you did in your second season in the league?
It means a lot to me. I think we had hard conversations as teammates, coaching staffs about they needed more from me, and I think that was one point of emphasis going to the All-Star break. So I think I came back with a different mentality, and it means a lot to me to be able to play how I was playing. I know there's much more space to grow, but I'm proud of myself for everything I did this year.
And then just one other question. This year, obviously, you took a hiatus, although it wasn't really a hiatus. You went overseas and played in the AmeriCup tournament, and then you came back, and you still remained a consistent presence for the Sky at both ends of the floor. How are you able to be so consistent throughout the league, given that you had such a busy schedule?
Showing up every day, this is my job. That's what I gotta do. It don't matter if I go overseas or if I'm here year round. I just gotta show up every day and do my best. And I think that's what I was trying to do.
Thanks, Kamilla.
Quita.
Hey, Kamilla, thanks so much for taking the time. I have a question about your three-point shot. So in college, you made that legendary shot against Tennessee. In this season, we saw you hit a three-point shot earlier this year. And my question is, in warm-ups, I see you make a lot of threes. Can you just talk about your thought process around the three-point shot and if you anticipate making that a bigger part of your game going forward?
Yeah, I definitely anticipate making this a part of my game. We work on it every day, you know. It's just the confidence part that I'm still building in order to start taking them. But that's something I'm gonna focus on the off season as well. Because if I add that to my game, it's gonna be harder for teams to be able to guard me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Alyssa.
Hey, Kamilla. So, you've become like a huge part of this team, a cornerstone for the future. So I just wanted to ask you, like, what is your vision for the Sky?
Making to the playoffs, winning championships, you know, that's as a player, that's always the goal. And I'm really excited to see what the future has ahead of us.
Thank you.
Christian.
Hi, Kamilla. Going into your third year, you're going to have now two groups under you, and you may be asked to be more of a leader. I just want to know, what does leadership look like to you, and what examples of leaders, have you had to kind of show you what a leader looks like?
Yeah, I think we have great vets and they always great leaders. Just being there for the younger players, helping one another, talking like, oh, you did this wrong, this is how you do it. Just helping one another. I think that's the biggest thing, communicating on the practice, on games and stuff like that.
Thanks. We'll close out with Andrew.
Thanks, Tristan. Kamilla, first, all the love and support to your friend T's family.
Thank you.
Sure with that. For you, what was your favorite off-court moment? Was that with you and Michaela doing the cover girl discussion? What was your favorite off-court moment this season for you?
Yeah, the cover girl shoot was amazing. But I'll say every moment we spend outside of the court as a team, I think we have a great time when inside of the basketball court and outside of the basketball court. So it's great spending time with these girls. This is a very special group, and I'm really thankful to be part of it.
Have a good luck in China.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Carly.
Hey, E, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Quick housekeeping question off top. Are you planning to do Athletes Unlimited again this season?
I'm actually going overseas. Going to Turkey.
You're gonna go to Turkey. Okay, thank you. And then I kind of want to ask you a little bit about what the WNBA PA has done just this last week. You guys were able to bring on the Women's Democratic Caucus, if I'm correct.
Yep.
One, what led to that conversation and having that support? And two, how does having that support of Congress and seeing people step up in government and trying to get a deal done between the Players Association and the league, how does that benefit you guys heading into a really tight deadline here toward as the season comes to a close?
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. I think anything in the sports world has political implications. Cities and governments are influenced a lot by sports teams. And especially in this time where, we're fighting for pay equity, that is also a universal conversation. So I'm not sure exactly how it started. I'm not sure if Terry reached out, but they sent a letter out to the league, and I think it just puts more pressure on the league and understanding how important this time is and getting the CBA done right.
Thank you.
Go to Christian. Okay, we'll go to Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. Just wanted to get your thoughts on just off-season goals and priorities for yourself.
Yeah, going to Turkey and playing EuroLeague is important for me. I love playing in EuroLeague. It's really high level competition. I enjoy 5-on-5 basketball. That was part of why I liked playing AU last year. And yeah, just a different feel for the game. I think anytime I can, be more of a facilitator, playing out of pick and rolls, that's a lot of what I do. Seeing different coverages and stuff like that, it's important. So just continuing to expand, shoot the ball,
doing all those things and compete at a high level in the off season.
And I just had one quick one. Maddie basically has talked a couple times this season just about your leadership and just your impact on her game. Just wanted to get your thoughts just on her this season.
Yeah, Maddie's been incredible. She's one of those people that when they say like they're in the gym every day, like she's actually in the gym every day. Rain or shine, things are going well, things aren't. You wouldn't know if she's having a good or bad day. And it just says a lot about her work ethic, her character, and that's why we were so excited to celebrate her yesterday, because it was truly a culmination of someone putting in work every single day. So I'm super happy for her. Rookie season is always hard. And so for her to just stay the course and then kind of see the fruits of her labor at the end was really fun.
Thank you.
We'll go to Quita next.
Hey, E, thanks for taking the time. Quick question following up on the CBA negotiations. Can you just sort of talk about where you think conversations are right now in terms of like the percentage done you think you are? And then also, do you think it's likely to actually hit the October 31st deadline?
I'm not sure about the deadline. They might have to push it back a little, which I think has happened before, if I'm not mistaken, in the last negotiation, because it's a little tight sometimes. Percentage, that's kind of hard too, because we're really trying to hash out the salary stuff before we move on to other proposals. But yeah, I mean, I think we'll have to push the deadline back a little bit. But I do think, especially with the last letter that was written from the Congress members, hopefully the league understands like how valuable our time is in getting this done.
Thank you.
Alyssa?
Hey, you will.
Hey.
Is that a Dare shirt that you have on?
It is. I don't think Dare is even still in schools, but
No, I think Dare is done.
yeah.
Nice. Two quick ones for you. Number one, are you interested in coming back to the Chicago Sky next season?
Yeah. Always interested. Like I don't really close any doors when it comes to the season. We have our exit interviews and talk about changes that we want to see and things that went well. So I'm not gonna say like I'm not coming back.
Yeah. And then one topic that came up last year that I think has come up a little bit this year is just like players experiencing online like harassment or just like nastiness from be it fans or whoever it may be. Do you think that's gotten better or worse this season?
I mean, I think it's gotten a little worse, but I also have like all the apps and stuff that try to block things.
Yeah.
So it's much harder to comment on my stuff. I think only if you're on like if it's like a collab post or you follow me, do I see it. But stuff still gets in there, which says a lot. That means like that there's way more coming in probably that is just getting filtered out. So it's tough. And I think I've mentioned to you guys, like I've been off Twitter all season. It's probably the best decision that I made.
Yeah.
People just create these stories in their head and have no idea what's happening. But yeah, it's been tough. It's been tough on my teammates too, and I see it.
Yep. Thank you, Ewo. Good luck this offseason.
Thank you.
We'll go to Andy.
Hey, hope all is well. I wanted to touch on, you're one of the players that has, you've been in Chicago 3 years, returning player. You've had a couple different coaches since you've been here, obviously, Tyler this year, Teaspoon last year, and James the year before. I just wanted your perspective on what you felt Tyler did well this year and how he compares to the other coaches you've had in your tenure with the organization.
Yeah. I mean, all very, very different coaches. But I thought Tyler has done a great job. One, I think he's excellent on the board. I think he's one of the best. I think even the stats will probably say that after timeouts, we executed in the top of the league. And that says a lot about him and just his knowledge of the game. I thought Tyler was really consistent throughout the year in his goals for us and expectations, and how he communicated with us. I mean, obviously not an ideal first season and a lot of challenges, but I really enjoyed Tyler and his energy and what he brought to the team.
Thanks, E.
We'll close out with Carly.
Hey, E, just to kind of follow up on CBA, you say salary is the biggest thing that you guys are focusing on. And there's been some other portions of CBA that have kind of come up, whether that be how international players are handled, maternity leave, things like that. Outside of salary, what are some other things that you guys, as the WNBA PA and then players as a whole, are really wanting to see as other top priorities in this CBA? And do you believe that they will get done in this specific CBA?
Yeah, I mean, player experience is a big one. Charter travel isn't technically in the CBA right now, so making sure that the language is clear on what that looks like is huge. The benefits, like you said, maternity benefits, family planning benefits, making sure those are accessible early on in our careers, housing. I'm trying to think. Those are the ones that just came to my head right now. But yeah, those are pretty important.
Is expanded rosters also in that conversation as well?
Yeah, it is in the conversation. It ties with salary too, because it's like what's going to count against the cap, what's not. How much do you want to expand the rosters? We do only play a 40-minute game. So, you want it to make sense. But you also want to have players that are available, hopefully in market. And so, we've had those types of conversations on what that could look like. And it is a priority when you start adding games and making the season longer, making sure you have enough healthy bodies.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ian. Good luck this offseason.
Thank you.
Thank you all. The schedule again. We'll go and start with Brian.
Hey, Rachel. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Want to get your thoughts just from you leaving Connecticut and coming to Chicago. Just wanted to get your thoughts on just what this opportunity playing in Chicago has meant for you.
Um, it's been really good. I mean, in Connecticut, I wasn't playing very much. It was like sporadic here and there minutes. And then coming to Chicago just brought a lot of opportunity for me. Especially obviously this year because of the injuries and stuff and moving to different positions and all that. So coming from there to here just brought a ton of opportunity that I wasn't expecting. So it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. And I feel like it was hard to be traded, but then I realized like everything does happen for a reason, and this is where I was meant to be.
Carly.
Hey, Rachel. How are you?
Carly, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. One quick housekeeping before I get to my question. What are your off-season plans? Are you going to do Athletes Unlimited or go overseas? What are you going to be doing this off-season?
I've been talking to Unrivaled. I'll tell you that.
Okay. All right. Good to know. When you look at this season, you came in, as you said, through a trade last year, and had a different coach last year than this year. What are things that you learned under Tyler that showed that he can be a good head coach moving forward? And what are things that you think that he can work on as he continues in his coaching career?
Yeah, learning wise, like just the communication I had with him was really good. Especially just playing the point guard position. It's really key to like have that connection with your head coach and have those like hard conversations and good ones as well, and stuff that I'm seeing and stuff I'm frustrated with and vice versa. So just having that open communication was really good. And I learned a lot from him in that way too, of like different stuff being at the point guard, finding my shot, but also making sure that I'm getting everybody else the ball too, because sometimes that can be really hard to figure out and within the game, and making the right play calls and stuff like that. So that was really great from him. And he's a teacher, so he's just so great about that. He wants to talk through the game, and I really appreciated that. Moving forward, I think just like he's a great communicator, and I think he can even use his voice even more. Like I know I just said like that was a good thing, but even just like there's a lot of power in the stuff that he says, so I think even just using it more, continuing to do that and be like that presence in the locker room, and like we all respect him so much in the locker room, so just anything he says, I think just like even more of it, if that makes sense. I don't know how to like describe that right, but I think that this year he probably learned a lot about everything, but about himself, like he can even do more. He has another level to his coaching. So just bringing more.
I do have one other quick follow-up. Obviously, there's upwards of 100 some odd players entering free agency, with you being one of them. How impactful will this CBA negotiation be for this free agency that's coming forward? And what are things that you want to see get addressed in the CBA outside of just pay for players?
Yeah. I mean, we obviously know the pay is really big. I would say we would like to have, why am I slipping on like my words of it? But um what is it called? Like when you retire and then you still get paid after the fact? Am I okay?
Pension, benefits.
I'm not old enough.
Pension. Okay, so that, oh my gosh, I didn't get enough sleep last night. Yeah, okay, so pension is big. Like that's a big conversation that we're having, and I think would be pretty sick. Um, what else? What was the rest of the question? Sorry,
No,
Carla.
just what are some things that you're looking for with the CBA? There's been some things that have been brought up outside of salary, like maternity, family planning, housing, expanded rosters as well. Are those things that you would like to see out of this CBA?
Yeah, I think housing is huge as well. Um, I know a big thing is like we want to continue to have our housing to be like legit and then also be paid for, and that's something that might be pushed back against us from the W. But that also depends on like if we're actually gonna get paid big bucks, you know? Um, yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest ones for me that I can really think of. But it's the money. We want the money. I think the roster thing, I don't know if I want expanded rosters to be honest, like personally. Maybe having like a practice player type vibe. Don't know how that would look. But I don't know if expanded roster is gonna make the huge difference. It's hard to say. I know with injuries and stuff, it was hard this year, but 12 people on a roster seems enough to me, especially when you're fighting for minutes. So, yeah.
We'll go to Alyssa.
Hey, Rachel. Two questions for you. First one, would you consider coming back to Chicago?
Yes, I would.
Nice, easy. And then like, let's say you're at Unrivaled and you're talking to all the other free agents and they're considering Chicago and they ask you like, why should I come to Chicago? What would you say?
I would say up front, just the people. Um, Jeff, Tyler, great communicators, very honest, really solid human beings. I think it's really nice when you can come to work and you know that you love the people that you're around, and you genuinely get that here. Like I really, even if it was a hard season this year, I loved hanging out with everybody and being around people, and I knew that they had my back and I knew they were going to be honest with me. And that's something as an athlete I appreciate so much. I don't want to be sugar-coated. I don't want the fake stuff, you know? So that's really, really big. And then obviously just the growth here is huge, you know? With the practice facility coming, that's just going to be another huge reason. And talking to the ownership, they've had so many conversations with us about really wanting to be better and continuing to step up and do different things for us and to protect us. So I really believe that. So that would be top of the conversation.
Thank you.
Yes.
We'll go to Andy.
Hey, Rachel, hope all's well.
Hi.
So you kind of touched on this in your last answer, talking about the people. When we spoke to Hailey earlier, she kind of called you out as one of the people that had a lot of good advice that she learned a lot from. You know, being the one of the veterans on this team for a team that has a lot of young contributors. You know, what has that been like in your tenure here? And you know, what do you think of the young group that this team has?
Yeah, it's been super fun. I love it. I think that's kind of where my career is transitioning to because I want to coach. So I'm trying to use like these last few years of playing too to be a good like mentor and coach to the younger players. So it's been really fun. I mean, when you have such good rookies, just talking about Hailey and Maddie right now, they're amazing. They're just sponges. They want to learn. They ask so many questions. They're in the gym. That's like the best type of rookie for a vet. Um, so I appreciate them so much. It's been really, really fun. And then there's Mill and Angel, who's younger. Is that the rest of our young kids?
They're four.
Yeah, those four. So it's just been so fun, and it's such an adjustment coming into the W from college and like learning like life, not even just as like a basketball player, but like being a human and like paying bills and stuff. So it's fun to see them kind of learn it because I know how it was like when I was in those positions. So I always tell like old stories and stuff, and I'm sure they're like, this chick is old, but it's fine. So it's been fun. I really enjoy it. We have a good group.
Thank you, Rachel.
You're
We'll go to
welcome.
Quita and then close out with Andrew. One question apiece, please.
Thanks for taking the time, Rachel. Despite the record, you individually have had a really good season. You've played every game this season, started the majority of them. Your minutes have been very up. Your points per game, assists, all that stuff has been up. Can you just talk about your role, what you've developed as sort of that main ball handler role for the Sky? And also, can you talk about your thoughts about the future? Do you have any anticipation of being more of a shooting guard going forward, or do you like the ball handling role?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun. This season has obviously been hard, but I've had a blast. I mean, like you said, I've gotten to play so much more, and that's what any player wants. I want to be able to get the opportunities to play on the court and do my thing and kind of be loose a little bit. And I feel like Tyler gave me that opportunity a lot to just like be me. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that showed too in kind of the moments that I had. Moving forward. I would like to probably play a little bit more shooting guard, but I'm totally cool with playing the backup one when it's needed. Because I do like having the ball in my hands. It's kind of like that mix. Like I want to play a little bit of both because I feel like I get in a really good rhythm when I have the ball in my hands. Um, but I also want to like fly off of staggers and pin downs and set screens and do all that stuff. So a little mix would be awesome. I don't want to fully play the one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Close out with Andrew.
Thanks as always to this a Golden Gopher, combo guard, and future successful coach, from how you always interacted and how you had the time as an assistant coach at your alma mater last year. The highs for you all this season when you beat the Lynx, when you beat the Liberty, the two title favorites, when you had at least a healthy team after Courtney went down, when you had that lineup and you being in part of that full rotation, is that something where you say to yourself that, hey, if we're fully healthy, we should have this full core and run it back if things work out the way they are in free agency? Do you feel like that's a sentiment that you share?
For sure. No, that's a good point. I think a lot of people saw that too. Like when we were healthy and we had all our bodies, like we looked good. And even when we didn't have Sloot, like can you imagine if we had Sloot too in those moments? Um, but when we were rolling, I feel like you guys could see it. Like when we beat the Lynx during that time, like we were really like rolling for real. And I feel like you could see that. And so that would definitely be something that I could say to other free agents. And I think that they saw it too. Like when I've talked to other players, they're like, y'all are playing good. Like you guys are dangerous. Like we weren't a team that they were just like, oh, like we know we're gonna win. They're like, hey, we gotta like be serious because this team can beat anybody. Um, so that's always good to use and to realize too, even though like there's so many losses that you gotta remember those moments too for the future.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Appreciate it, Rachel. Thank you so much. Oh, the Vikings.
I had you muted that entire time.
Oh.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up. Start with Carly.
Hey, Mick, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I have one quick housekeeping question before I ask my actual question. What are your off-season plans? Are you going to do overseas? Are you going to do Athletes Unlimited? What are your plans for the off-season?
I can't officially say it, but I will be in the States, but I can't officially say it quite yet.
Understood. Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much. When you look back on this season, you were here last year under Spoon, and then new head coach this year with Tyler Marsh. What are things about Tyler Marsh's coaching style that you appreciated and think would bode well for him in his head coaching career? And what are things that you think that he should improve on as he continues in his coaching career?
I think the one thing that I really think about when I think about Tyler is just his consistent belief in us throughout the season. You know, obviously we faced a lot of adversity with wins and losses this season, but just his continued belief in us and support, and always making sure that we knew that he cared about us as more than just players, which is super important to have even at this level as professionals, is knowing that the person who's leading you cares about you as a person. I also believe he's a really good X's and O's guy. Like some of the things that he would draw up in, ATOs or plays that we needed to run, we would execute it perfectly, And so just having that person who can put us in a play, have that be executed is super important. And obviously, as a first-year head coach, it's hard to be in this league. This league is really tough. Just as far as players, as winning games, it's really, really tough. So I'm sure there's some improvements that will come with experience, but I think for us and our experience with him this first year, he did a great job.
Thank you.
Ryan, unmute, please.
Hey, Mick, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you were using a multitude of ways this season. But just wanted to get your thoughts on the trust that Tyler's placed into your game this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that I talked about with Tyler. It's just I was put in a lot of different positions, and I think for me, I do pride myself in versatility. It's something that I've done since I've been in this league. And so I was put in a lot of different positions where I feel like in the first half of the season, I was playing more of the four, kind of a pick and popper, and then kind of towards the end of the season, I was kind of strictly more of the three. And so, like you said, there's that trust level, and he thinks that I can be successful in those positions, which I really appreciate. I think that being able to do a lot more is better than just being able to be one-dimensional. And so, yeah, putting me in those positions to succeed have been great. And I was able to just gain a level of confidence towards the end of the season, and just knowing that he has that trust for me.
Thank you. Good luck this offseason.
Thank you.
We'll go to Andrew.
Hey, Michaela, I want to ask you first. I was talking to Cam earlier about her favorite off the court moment this season, or one of them, and that was doing the cover girl thing with you in terms of that. Was that your favorite off court moment this season? And just in terms of the high point on the season, beating the Lynx and then also beating the Liberty, the two title favorites, what was your favorite on court moment? So first for your off court.
Yeah, that was super fun. Obviously, like cover girl is something that I've seen, on America's Next Top Model. Like it's super cool to be able to have those opportunities and those partnerships with our team. And I love Kamilla. She is just such a ball of energy. And so that was really definitely a highlight for me as far as off the court stuff. And there's so many other things I could say as well, just like our hangouts with the team in the apartments. Just a lot of different things, honestly, because this team was such a joy and a delight to be around. Like obviously things may not have manifested on the court the way we wanted to, but truly there's some of the best people I've been around. And I was telling them in the locker room after the game yesterday that this is probably my second favorite team I've ever played on. And the first one was my rookie year, so things were very new. But yeah, just it's because of the people and the experiences that we had together. And it's one of the teams I'll remember forever because of the people that they are. And so there's so many I could choose from, but definitely Cover Girl is definitely one of the top. And as far as encore experiences, like you said, I think that it showed that we could compete with the best. And if we really locked in and focused on the things that we needed to do. And obviously, like you said, in Minnesota and New York, these are championship caliber teams. We were able to obviously get a win on them, which is super evident of just how, we are when we all lock in and we're all really focused. There's a lot of on-court things I could say as well that I loved. But yeah, they're just super cool to have those opportunities to be able to compete with the best of the best.
Thanks so much, and go Bruins for you.
Thank you.
We'll close out with Alyssa.
Hey, Michaela.
Hi.
Just one for you. Would you consider coming back to the Sky?
I think free agency is definitely an interesting time for me. Obviously, it's my first time being into it. And first and foremost, I want to say just how grateful I am that I'm even able to say that I've been in this league for this long. I think that obviously not a lot of players get to do that and be in this league. So I want to answer this question with a sense of gratitude and that I'm just super grateful to still be in this league, still healthy enough to be in this league, still having teams, obviously be super interested in me as well. And so I'm really excited for free agency. I think that something that I'll navigate with my agent. And ultimately I'll do what is best for me. Chicago has been a place that has really been near and dear to my heart these last 2 years. And so if I see that it's best fit that I come back, obviously I'll make that decision. But yeah, we'll just try to see what's best for me in these next coming weeks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Start with Brian.
Hey, good afternoon, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. A couple questions for you. My first one is, what does a development plan for Angel and Kamilla look like for you as they enter the third year in the season, third year in the league next year?
Yeah, starting with Angel, I think we saw so much new and so much good out of her this season compared to last year. She was able to build on her success she had. We saw her as a facilitator. We saw her playing in space. We saw her put the ball on the floor. Percentages were up in a number of categories. I think finding consistency with her shooting in the mid-range, facing up, pick and pop from the three-point line, and just continuing to use her handle to get to spaces and play in tighter spaces. She's proven that she can be a very dangerous mismatch, and she can pull bigs out onto the perimeter. And she's got a lot of weapons that she was able to showcase a lot more this season. Yeah, Kamilla, we saw a surge from her the second half of the season, an absolutely improved player from last year. She was better around the rim with her weak hand. She was rebounding more out of her area and her space, which is something she had to improve on. But just her trusting her jumper, making sure ball security is improving, even defensively, as far as her reads when she needs to body up, when she needs to not foul, being a little mentally tougher in those areas. But she's shown so much growth and just really, allowing her to face up in certain situations. Sometimes you saw her getting bumped off the block at times where, instead of, looking to kick and facilitate, she could have played in space because she is skilled and she needs to trust a lot of the work that she's put in because she put a lot in this year. I think that's why we've seen such improvement. But just her really identifying and adding go-tos, that you're going to need in this league to survive because the 4 and the 5s are pretty, tough defended positions. But again, just we want them shooting jump shots. It's only going to help people around them and themselves. So I think those are big components in the offseason.
And then my second one, obviously,
we're going to go to
injury.
Julia.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, circle back. Julia, please.
Hey, Jeff, appreciate the time. Just kind of wanted to follow up on Angel. How is the front office planning on approaching this offseason, given some of the frustrations in the last week or 10 days? And what level of confidence do you have about her willingness and eagerness to be in Chicago for the long term?
Yeah, it's a great question. Angel's an ascending young talent in this league who's had two very, very good seasons here in Chicago. Obviously, we went through what we did. I feel like we closed the chapter on it. She spoke to her teammates. She spoke publicly. We moved on as a team. She's a special player. And I have good conversations with Angel daily, with her team daily. They're constant and they're productive. And until I hear differently, that's the direction we're going to move is that she's on the roster.
We'll go to Annie.
Jeff, this time last year, you guys really were, or you specifically were emphasizing a direction in preparation for the 2026 season. And that direction was we got to get vets in. We've got to win this year in order to be an intriguing option in 2026. And that didn't pan out. So what's the plan heading into 2026? Not just for yourself as far as roster construction goes, but from an ownership standpoint down.
Yeah, I don't think the win now mentality is ever going to change. We went and got 2 vets with championship experience with Courtney Vandersloot and Ariel Atkins. That was what mattered to us. We wanted to continue to improve the culture in the locker room. We needed to bring vets in. Unfortunately, a lot got derailed, and it was hard to recover when Vandersloot went down. I think we were 2 of 4 at the time. She ended up missing 37 games. Ariel Atkins missed 10 games, I believe. Angel Reese missed 14 games. When you have 3 players that are that critical to a roster like the one we were building, it's gonna change the course of events. I believe we brought vets in here who absolutely strengthen our locker room. And I think that's a component of winning. And as far as 2026 goes, I mean, there's a lot that we're still really excited about. And a component of winning, Annie, is having a really strong locker room and culture. And I think all of our players, if you guys would speak with them, would share that, same sentiment is that they're really excited and happy to play basketball here. The record was disappointing. I'm disappointed in it. And again, that starts with me. But we have 4 draft picks next season. We have a practice facility, and I think those are going to be things that matter.
Thanks. We'll go to Naomi.
Hi, Jeff. You just alluded to all the injuries that the team dealt with this past season. The team kind of also dealt with injuries back in 2024, and during media day, you said that you guys made changes to the roster to improve things significantly, as you alluded to bringing in the vets. Was there any thought while constructing this roster of any next woman up that could come in and be there in the event of injuries like we saw this season as you were constructing this roster, obviously giving the restrictions on the roster size, but when the roster was constructed, was there any thought about that at all?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's always a thought. It's always big parts of our discussions is if someone gets hurt, if someone gets in foul trouble, who's next and who's up. And I think that was a big part of the Mariah Jefferson trade a year ago. And unfortunately, with her injuries, she wasn't able to come in and be the player that she had been in this league for so long. But yeah, there's a number of situations, where we felt that, we could have been and should have been stronger. And so again, with roster construction, you always need to know in the worst case scenario. And again, these are more data points that we'll take into 2026 when we're building the roster.
We'll go to Carly Bell.
Afternoon, Jeff. How are you?
Hi, Carly.
When you look, well, I want to kind of discuss a little bit of what happened last night. You were in the building and there were chants and signs that were held up asking for you to be let go and also asking for a change in ownership. You're seeing fans wanting to say that they sided with Angel. First, what's your reaction to seeing the fan base very passionate about what this team is doing? And do you believe that ownership has heard what the fans are asking for?
Yeah, I mean, personally, hearing those things is not ideal. I pour my heart and soul into this job. I lose sleep over the losing. If anyone's going to take the bullets, I'd rather it be me over our head coach or our players. I'm never going to change as far as that goes. It's hard to hear, but I'm also appreciative that we have passionate fans that want to see winning. We feel the same, and I know I have full support from ownership. We have great conversations. There's a lot of mutual respect there. I have all the respect in the world for Tyler. I think he's the guy for the job. And again, I mean, this can be a tough seat to be in. But I'm going to keep being myself, keep caring about the players, and just know that I'm going to keep pouring my heart and soul into it, and we are going to get this right.
We'll go to Alexa.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going? Just wanted to ask you, with Courtney's recovery, how have things been going since her surgery, and how do you anticipate her factoring into, I know she still has her recovery in front of her, but do you anticipate her, ideally being back in Chicago next year, assuming things go well, and just the vision for the point guard spot moving forward?
Yeah, if she's healthy, she's going to be playing basketball here. No one's taking her recovery more seriously than her. We're looking at 4, 6, 7, 8 hours a day that she's putting in 6 or 7 days a week. Um, I think she's more fired up than ever to prove the world wrong about who she is and what she's capable of. We have a lot of belief in her. We know that she's not going to be playing 38 minutes a game, if that answers your question. We're going to need absolutely somebody to be here and be capable of playing that position. If she's not ready, if she's not healthy, this is a player we're not going to push. She's also a future Hall of Famer who was playing at an awfully high level for us before she went down. And it's just somebody you need in the locker room, somebody who leads by example. Those players matter with our culture and who we are. She embodies so much of this city with her toughness and how she competes and how she carries herself. So it's somebody very important to the organization.
We'll go back to Julia.
Jeff, this is kind of an evergreen question, but just as the team and the franchise moves into another important offseason, do you personally feel like ownership is capable of investing enough into this team? Do you feel like the team is kind of keeping up in terms of that investment?
Yeah, I think the trends are changing fast, and I think I've personally seen a lot of new resources since I started working here a year ago in this role. Um, I think they care. I sit in the meetings. They're very deliberate with the things they would like to do. I think the practice facility, is showing a lot about an investment, but I also see a lot of day-to-day things that matter and that players deserve to have. And I make it a point, to push for the things that the players need. That conduit, between them and ownership. And I don't get told no very often. And I think resources this year are clearly evolved from what I've seen in the past, and I think what was available to them in the past. So I'd like to think we absolutely have the support from ownership, and the investment will be there moving forwards.
Go to Alyssa.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
Would you run it back with this group, or do you feel like you need to make some changes?
I think that we absolutely need to improve the roster. We are really committed to getting back to a place where we are competing with the best teams in this league. I think we would have been well on our way this year with the roster we had built. Again, we didn't discuss injuries the whole season for a number of reasons. Tyler and I never thought that it was a priority to discuss the things that we didn't have when we had other players here that we cared about and wanted and deserved opportunities. But again, there's improvements that can be made to every roster every season. So, as a GM, we're going to make changes.
We'll go back to Brian.
Jeff, you spoke about Tyler, and you basically feel that he's the man for this job as the head coach of the team. Just wanted to get your assessment on areas that you liked, and then maybe an area of opportunity for Tyler.
Yeah, it's a great question. He's an incredible human being. The word I got when I was researching him before we started interviewing him is he was great at building relationships, and he cared a lot about the people that were around him. And that's the man he still is. That's who he's been the whole entire season. I think that is the beginning of any good basketball team is being able to build strong relationships with players, because when you need to deliver tough or difficult information, they take it in a way where they're going to internalize it. So outside of the humanity side of him and as a person, I think he's one of the brightest young coaches in this league. I think he's proven, his ATOs, a lot of the way we've used players this year, how you've seen Kamilla and Angel facilitate. I think he's found ways to stay creative even when things weren't perfect. And there's so much there that I'm grateful for. And we have a lot of conversations. We don't always agree, but he's somebody I have a lot of respect for, and I'm glad he's in the seat he's in.
Thank you.
We'll close out with Alyssa Hirsch.
Hello again. I wanted to ask about the point guard spot. Like, you brought in Sev, and obviously like the point guard spot was like a huge area of need. Can Can you tell us a little bit about like some other names that you like vetted or some just kind of like also rans that you thought about?
I'm not going to get into names, but we canvassed the league pretty heavily, Alyssa. So, you know, we found a lot of players. We, per usual, engaged in trade talks. We were on the phone quite a bit the minute Courtney went down, just to make sure we had an opportunity to get a look at who could be available. So again, the point guard position, especially to Tyler, might matter more than any of it for obvious reasons. I mean that's your conduit to the court. That's your leader. That's who's got to make real-time decisions. So that player really matters. And you saw it was difficult for us to recover when Vandersloot went down, and it was a gut punch. And we learned that we didn't have as much as we needed really to help this thing move in the direction that we would like it to. So the point guard position will continue to matter.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.